Hey everybody, welcome back to my RC life. Today we are going to continue with the Tekno MT-410 build series part 3. Can we build it? Yes we can! That was silly. Alright guys, Traxxas Mike here. Day 3 of Tekno MT-410 build. We are on to bag N, O, and P. And that's all our bags we got left. N, O, and P. So yeah, not too much. So let's get started. Hopefully I'll have this thing done real soon. Maybe I'll have all the electronics and stuff in it today. Hopefully. Without any further ado, let's get to it. Alright, we're getting into bag N here. It's the right and left sides of the chassis and the receiver box. Got to cut everything off the parch trees here. I'm going ahead and getting the servo all mounted up. There's an ESC mounting plate, and I quickly realized that that's not going to work. Not for that big Max 5. I'm going to go ahead and mount this plate anyways, and it says to use some contact adhesive and glue these little rubber washers onto the bottom of the plate, probably for like shock resistance for hard landings, so it doesn't mess up your ESC. Now I'm trying to get the receiver to fit, and I realize that the big one does not fit. So I go to the little antenna-less receiver. Bag O. Just putting the Velcro into the battery tray. These last few steps I had to skip a bunch of them because I couldn't mount the ESC, things like that, and it made me have to skip a bunch of steps. And then I realized that my motor doesn't accept the right size bolts that they give you with the kit, because they give you 3mm bolts, because that's what the motor mount has for clearance holes, and my motor has bigger bolt holes than that, so we skipped another step. I'm bolting on these side plates. Flip it over, put some bolts in the bottom. Yeah, it's coming together. It looks pretty good. Those side plates on there. Skip to the next page because I definitely can't mount my motor right now. Okay, now I'm doing the steering components so I can hook the steering servo itself up. Servo well centered. Get the correct servo arm on there. Alright, looks like that's working okay. I noticed my alignment was off, so I went ahead and fixed that. Last bag, and that was just the body posts, so I can't use them right now either. So let's get to the tires. Alright, we got to bolt these hubs in, 8 bolts per tire. But I like that, so if you strip out a hub on the inside, you don't have to throw away the whole wheel. You can just buy that replacement hub. That was some good thinking by Proline. Ooh, look at that bad boy. It's looking good. All right, guys. Well, we're running into some problems. One of the problems being when this motor is in here, obviously, I'm not going to have room for any ESC, especially this big guy. I already fixed this problem. I have a FlySky Noble, and the 4-channel receiver will not fit in there, but I did have this small one. The FGR4 will not fit in there, but the FGR4S, it don't have an antenna, it's antennaless. It does fit in there, but I was worried about how much length I would get, like how much distance. Well, I went and did a little research, and there's people getting like a couple football fields worth, like 200 yards. So yeah, that's pretty good for what I will be using this truck on, I figured. So know if you're going to be running a FlySky Noble that you're going to need the small antennaless receiver if you want it to go in the actual receiver place they have here. So then I was like, all right, where am I going to put this? All right, I see some people put it up here, or they get the center brace and they put it on the center brace. Well, I have the wide body kit coming from M2C, and it's got the ultimate solid center brace, a big wide one, and then it has a plate back here, a bolt on where this second servo position spot is at, and it's drilled out so a Max 5 can bolt on there, or Max 6 can bolt on there. Well, I think a Max 5 and a Max 6 have the same bolt pattern. I'm not sure. But if I can't use this Max 5, I'm going to go ahead and order a Max 6, I think. And then it'll bolt down right directly to the plate that they have that comes along with the wide chassis kit, or the wide body kit. So then, this motor here, the motor mount takes 3mm bolts. Well, I went to go find whatever size these were, because obviously the 3mm goes right through there. I went to a couple different hardware stores. I went to Farm and Fleet. I went everywhere. And I cannot find the correct size bolt to go in here. I don't know what TP Power did, but they say it's supposed to be a 4mm, but it is not a 4mm bolt. It's not an M4. I've tried the M3, the M3.5, the M3 with a 70 pitch, the M4 with a 70 pitch, the M4 with a 50 pitch. I cannot get anything to start in there. So I went and visited my brother-in-law, Chris. Thank you, Chris. And what we did is we took this end bell off. We went ahead and tapped these to a 1032. Okay? And even had a few 1032 bolts sitting there. Bam. That's awesome. But now we got to drill these out to accept this bigger socket head cap screw. So what we're going to do is do just that. We're going to go and modify the stock Tekno motor mount to take the bigger 1032 bolt. Because this head is going to need to recess in there, and it obviously doesn't. Okay, so first thing I did is take the bolt, get my calipers. I'm getting about 160 thousandths on the diameter of the threads. So that's going to have to be the smaller part of the hole there that has to be cleared so the threads can go through. So I went through my drill set here in a 3/16. I'm getting 181. So that's what we're going to go with for a clearance hole all the way through this. I'm going to flip it over this way so I don't actually have to drill down into my vise. So if I would have it this way, I'd have to drill all the way through the bottom there. So I'd have to drill into my vise a little bit. If I flip it this way, because it's got the counterbore hole there, I'll be able to get all the way through with the drill. So we're just gonna open this up, open the vise up, and tighten that little bugger down in there. Don't gotta reef it in there, just so tight. Now, since it's already got a hole drilled in there, this drill is just gonna find the center. I don't want to force it. I just want to go nice and decently slow down through here. And see, now the vise ain't bolted down, so when I say I had it all center, it was over here. As long as it starts to follow that hole, it'll actually kick this vise around into place. Obviously, you got to get it kind of so the drill starts to touch the hole. If you watch the vise, it'll actually find its center. Okay. Now we got the second hole we need to get. Alright, get it close there. There we go. When you're drilling, you want to drill down a little bit and then let up. It breaks the chip. Otherwise, you can get long strings of chip and it'll start, you know, it can cut you or whatever. And this is just a couple small holes and it's soft aluminum. If you're drilling through metal, you need some type of coolant or cutting oil of some sort. Okay. All right, that looks okay. Now we need to open up the top part of this hole to accept this bigger socket head cap screw. So I'm going to go ahead and measure this. We have 265 thousandths. Well, when I was at my brother-in-law's, we found this counter bore. Now this counter bore is actually made for doing something like this. Okay, see, now that's going to be 285. It's going to be 10 thousandths clearance on each side. So if you don't have something like this, what you can do is take a drill. Okay, this drill is running 267. So it's a little smaller than the counter bore. But remember, these were only 265, so it is a little bit bigger than the actual cap there. You grind the tip of this flat, and that way you can go ahead and have a flat bottom for your cap screw. But I do have a counter bore, so we're going to go ahead and load this counter bore up. Alright, I had to change the speeds on my little drill press here because these are meant to run slow. Now I'm still going to be running this faster than the recommended RPM, but this is as slow as I can run it, so I'm just going to be really careful with it. Alright, so we're just going to line this one up by hand. Make sure it's in the center there. We're just going to be real slow. These are quite expensive tools. The drill, I wasn't worried about cooling it or whatever. But since we're running this counter bore way over the speed it should be ran, because this drill press has only got 5 different speeds, I am going to use just some type of oil. This is Marvel Mystery Oil, Air Tool Oil actually. Marvel Air Tool Oil. But even if you had liquid wrench or WD-40, just something to put on it, so the tool don't overheat and mess up the cutting edge. Use this just like the drill. Go down a little bit, then let up. Break that chip. And that's how you know how you went deep enough. You just keep trying this. You try it. Did it go deep? Did it go deep? Did it go deep enough? Keep on trying until that head of that screw is completely under the surface, and then you know if you went far enough. Almost there, a little bit more to go. Alright, let's check the depth. See if that's enough. Almost. Just a little bit more. Okay. Perfect. These holes here got a little sharp edge on them. So we're just going to take our counter sink and just put it in the hand drill here, the hand tool. Just break that edge a little bit. Puts a little chamfer on it there. Some people call this a chamfer tool, but the proper name's a counter sink. There we go. Do the same thing here. All right. Okay. Looking all pretty. So now it can go and bolt up to this motor. Almost. These bolts are very long. So they're going to screw down in and start hitting the rotor of the motor, and they won't tighten up and they'll damage the inside of the motor. So we need to shorten these. So I got a good cutoff tool in my Dremel here. I put the bolt through the motor mount, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it just so I got, you know, 1/4 inch of thread, something about right where my thumbnail's at. Now I'll hold of it with my little vice grips and finish the cut. On to the next one. chamfer the edge of this screw with the cutting disc. Put a little 45 right on the edge. Something like that. And then what you need to do is make sure you chamfered it good enough. Just start it in your hole. As long as it starts in there, you're good. All right, we got her. So yeah, we got our motor mount issues figured out now. All right. Looks good to me. Bam! Now the motor mount is on the TP Power motor. So I don't know what was going on with whatever thread they had in there, but it was not a 4mm, it wasn't a 3mm, I don't know what it was. But sometimes you just gotta fix stuff. So yeah, that's what we got. Now we can get back to the truck. Alright, let's see if this motor can slide down in there. Looks like it can. I guess that's pretty much as far as I can get right now until some more parts show up. I mean, I could paint the body and everything right now, but I might just do that in the next video. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for part 4 of the MT-410 build. I'll see you later.